Low from Future Wealth Advisors, and I know that it has been a minute since I've actually recorded or dropped any videos. Long story short, was living in Africa and now ended up moving back to America, so that was a long process. But I am back, and in this video, I'm actually going to show you how to read your credit report. So by the end of this video, you'll know where and exactly what to do when you see any items on your credit report that look a little funny or things that doesn't match. I'm going to show you exactly what to do when you're looking at your credit report. So first, let's start off with the personal information section that's up here. So what you want to do is I have these, this is an actual credit report from a previous client. And the thing is that they said that, we've actually helped them from February up until now was like the end of October. So, a lot of work was done on their report. But first, you want to look at your name. Now, I have it redacted here, but what you want to do is make sure that you only have one name and all of your names match and that there's any correct spelling. Like, you want to make sure that everything is spelled correctly. You want to make sure that there's no extra commas in certain places for certain people or apostrophes and anything. You want one name across the board that is all the same, that's matching across the three major credit reporting agencies. Now, you also see down here, also known as. Now, with these, this column right here, what you want to do is make sure that it's blank. And the reason why I say you want it blank is because the names that are associated with the also known as are actually names that aren't matching these. So let's say if you went and you apply for any credit somewhere and they had spelled it differently, or maybe, you was married previously and your maiden name, you probably have your maiden name here. But what you want to do is have all also known as names removed from your credit report. You only want one name on your report. All right. And the reason why you want that is because a lot of times when you go through the process of disputing, what ends up happening is that they'll use small little details on your credit report to say that, oh, this is you, to prove that this is you. So if you have a name on here, if your name is incorrect, like that'll show up in this also known as section, and it's the same as one of your accounts that you're disputing, and they see that it matches up, they'll say, oh, it's already, this has been proven that it is yours, and still try to, like, follow you and charge you and all of that type of stuff and keep reporting it as inaccurately. And this is something that you don't want. So always make sure that you get those names removed, and this should be your first priority. All right. And then you want to go down to your date of birth. They used to have, your full date of birth, but now they usually just have your year. So make sure that that's accurate as well. And your current addresses, you only, like, just like your name, you want to have only one address on your report, and that is your current address. Your current address. Now, your previous addresses, just like also known as, up here in this section, you only want one address. You only want one address. So, make sure that you do that. And also make sure that you have your employers removed as well. You want to keep this really bare, just the bare minimum. Your name, your date of birth, your current address. That's it. So, and I'll go over at the end, there's like, we have letters that you may get for free, that we're offering for free on our website. So, use those letters to get all of these removed, your personal information correct. All right, so now going down here, it's kind of an explanation of everything of why your credit report is what it is. So on this client's, see TransUnion, their score is right here, and then it'll say, okay, recent payment missed, and they'll tell you what the recent payment missed payment, like how that affects your score. And this is just all descriptions of what is going on and why your scores is what they are at this moment. All right, and then your summary. There's just an overview of present and past credit status, including open and closed accounts and balance information. So right here, you can see your total accounts, your total open accounts, closed accounts, delinquent accounts, derogatory accounts, collections and balances, and payments and inquiries. So I would say with this one, you always focus on these. These are the major ones you want to focus on because these are your negative items. In public records, let's say you had a bankruptcy, it'll be on the public records. If you had a missed child support payments, it'll be on the public records. You know, now we're going to go into the actual accounts. So now you want to read every single line of your report. So this is the, like, who was reporting this account. So credit collection services, original creditor, LabCorp. So when you see this word collection on anything, that automatically means that it's a negative item. Negative item. And when it comes to collections, you always want to send a letter to the actual collection agency to dispute it, and then also send a letter to each one of the credit reporting agencies that reported on your credit report. So as you can see, this is the original creditor, LabCorp Credit Collection Services. So what you want to do now is look at the account numbers and make sure that they're all the same. Okay, this one is all the same. Now account types. So it's different. As you can see, this one says it's an open account. This one says collection, and this one says collection. The thing is that in your account types have to be accurate. Everything on your credit report must be accurate, or it has to be removed. So the thing is with TransUnion, they're not starting from the top. The account type shows that it's not being reported in an accurate way. So this is account type is open, but collection accounts can't be open accounts. So what you would do is mark this account right here in red, and then right beside it, what you would want to put is like your explanation why you want to dispute it. So in this one, you can say the account type says that it's an open account. When collection accounts aren't, they cannot be identified as an open account. So, remove this item because it's not reporting accurately on my credit report according to the FCRA. Something simple like that. But let's continue to go through each line. So account type detail, open account, collection. Bureau code individual accounts, they're accurate all the way across. Account statuses, not satisfying F20 trade. Now with the account status, with this one, like I said, you already know to go ahead and send in the dispute letter for the reason for TransUnion. But you can also look at this one, the account status. It says the account statuses aren't all the same, which means that they're reported inaccurate. So go to the next line, monthly payments. So the one thing about credit, anything that's in collections, it's not supposed to have a monthly payment on here. And then go to date open. Okay, all of the dates are matching. The balance, all of the balances are matching. Number of terms, they're not matching. It says 1 month term. So there you have another thing to look at when it comes to, how to dispute this, because they're not matching. Okay, credit $51 straight across. The credit limit is blank. The past due is blank. And one thing also about collection accounts, they're not supposed to have a past due amount. And their payment status is never supposed to show as late. That's one thing about collection. So please make a mark of that. All right, so right here, the payment status is seriously past due date, assigned to attorney, collection agency, credit, grantor, internal collection department. And this one says unpaid. All right, so last reported. Okay, you see Equifax isn't reporting, it doesn't have a last reported date. And comments placed for collections. It's blank right here in Experian, and it's medical right here. And the date last active. These are Experian has a different date than the other two. All right, then what you also want to do is look at the payment history. With this one, it's shown as a charge off, but we'll look later at one that'll have like actual payment history. So as you can see, this is already, it says collection, so we already want to dispute it. All right, so now let's look at credit acceptance court. And I'm kind of just gonna go through a few of them so that you can get the idea, and then I'll kind of skip ahead so you can see, other things that are actually on your credit report. So, Credit Acceptance Corporation. All right. All of the account numbers, they're matching. Installment accounts, account type is some. This says auto loan, but that's another name for an installment account. Bureau code, individual accounts, they're all closed. No monthly payments. Okay, it shows that it was open at the same time. The balance is zero across. Number of terms, high credit limit, they're all the same. Credit limit, they're all the same. Past due, all the same. 120 days past due. This one says legally paid in full for less than a full balance, at least 120 days or more than four payments past due. So with this one, as you can see, the payment statuses are all different. What you would want to do is have one. You can dispute this right here because the payment statuses are not the same. Because if this person legally paid in full, that means that this should show as paid in full rather than being late. So, this is something that you want to actually dispute. Now, if you go down right here, it says that this settled less than full balance. But the thing is, right here in the payment status, it doesn't say that. So you want this to be shown as the payment status. So this is definitely an account that I'll dispute. And down here with the 2-year payment history, this starting from 2019 in November, it's already considered a charge off, and then was considered late throughout this, and then they ended up paying it right here in January 2021. But the thing is Experian is the only one that's reporting this. So this will show up actually as a negative account because it'll show all of these past due amounts. So this is something that you want to be mindful of. All right. And let's find another one. Let's find another one. All right, right here. So, Capital One. So all of the account numbers are looking the same. They're all revolving accounts. Under account type, the detail, this is a credit card, okay. Bureau code, authorized account, authorized user, authorized user. So what an authorized user is just somebody that doesn't necessarily have an account with Capital One, but they're under the person that has an account with Capital One allowed them to be an authorized user for the account, which means sometimes that they'll get a credit card, sometimes they won't. And then also will be considered getting a trade line from somebody. So as we can see, just a little tip, never become an authorized user on somebody's account that doesn't pay their bills on time. Because the thing is that whoever's an authorized user will inherit all of that person's payment history. And the thing is, if they're late, it's going to show up on your report, and that'll bring your credit score down when it's not even your account. So always make sure of that. So right here, and also make sure that they don't have major balances on their cards. If they have a credit limit of 5,000 and they use 4,500 of it, you don't want to be on their as an authorized user. You only want it if they have barely used their card and they pay it on time. That's just a tip in the future. All right. So really with this one, I would suggest somebody like they have a credit limit of 4,060 and their high credit limit is 4,000. This is not somebody that you would want to actually be an authorized user on their account. Just me being honest with you. This person uses their credit card a lot and close to maxing it out. And right here, it shows that they even max it out. So why would you want their credit? You know, you gotta think of it like that. So so this is one right here that I would actually dispute and say, hey, this is an authorized user. The thing is, this is not my account. I would like it removed. And then it's actually not even reporting accurately. So what's the point? The balance is not accurate. They're different on each one. The monthly payments are different. The credit limits are different. So, definitely be mindful of becoming an authorized user in somebody's credit report. All right, so let's go down to inquiries. Now, with inquiries, you always want to make sure that these are actual, you know, authorized inquiries. Oftentimes, you'll see a lot of unauthorized inquiries when you go to car dealerships. Of course, you say like they want to make sure that you can find the right deal, but then what will end up happening is you'll have 10 to 15 to even up to 30 inquiries within 2 minutes because they're shopping for, they're shopping a financing deal for you. And this is not something you want to do. A tip that I would say is actually go to a credit union or even your personal bank and get a pre-approved letter for a car amount and then take that to a dealership. Just a little tip. So the thing with inquiries is that they stay on your credit report for 2 years. And they say that inquiries only affect 10% of your credit score. But the thing is that there are actually lenders out there that if they see that you have like 40 inquiries, to them that'll make them be like, okay, this person is desperate. And let me ask you a question. Would you want to lend money to somebody that comes off as desperate? They ask a lot of people for money, and they of course you're going to say no, you know, but that's how a lot of lenders look at it. So what you want to do is always stay on top of your inquiries. All right. So credco means this person was actually probably looking for a house a couple times, or even a car, where it says auto reseller. So look at the inquiry dates. Make sure that you actually put in the app like a application for these inquiries on these dates, because if you didn't, you can send in a letter saying that, let's say for instance these were unauthorized. Hey, Equifax, I see that on my credit report I have an inquiry from Credco on January 17, 2022. I didn't authorize this inquiry, so I would need, Equifax, I would need for you to investigate and remove this off of my credit report as soon as possible. Now, and here goes another tip. The thing is, you can get inquiries removed before the 2 year mark, but be careful with these. So, for instance, with Credco doesn't show up on this person's credit report at all. So, when it comes to inquiries, you want to actually only remove the ones that aren't associated with an account on your credit report. So, this one right here, let's see if I can find one. Let's see. Web bank fingerhut. So Capital One right here. Let's see if they got something open. Another authorized. So most of their authorized users on a bunch of accounts. So in this, like for instance, right here, like this is Capital One Auto Finance, and they put in an inquiry for this one on July 26, 2021. Now, Capital One, even though this is actually just a credit card, but let's say this was Capital One Auto Finance, and let's say that this account was open, If you tried to remove the Capital One inquiry associated with the account, what they'll do is they'll close the account off. So let's say you had a credit card with them and you had a $15,000 credit limit and you only spend 1,000 of it, and you still got 14,000, on that card that's available for you. You get this right here, this Capital One removed. They'll actually remove that account on your credit report, and then also close your account down. All right, so be mindful of that. So inquiries stay on your report for 2 years. They only make up 10% of your credit score, but you still want to keep your inquiries low. And if there's any inquiries on your report that aren't associated with any open accounts, you have a right to dispute them and tell them that this is unauthorized. This is a major play. So with Experian, you can call in. With Equifax and TransUnion, you can send in just a simple letter. All right. So public information, there's none here. This, like I said, this is where bankruptcies, court records, tax liens, any type of judgments will show up on your report. Now, this is a great section right here, creditor contacts. So every creditor name that shows up on your report, they will have their address and their phone number. Now, this is big for, let's say, this person had, which one was it? The collection company right here. So if you ever want to send in a letter to an actual creditor, their information will actually show up on your credit report. So like I said, this is a collection company, and here's their address. This is who you'll send a letter to. And this is associated with each and every creditor name that shows up on your list. Like, look at right here, factual data right here. So, there's no reason why it shouldn't be hard for you to actually be able to, read your report and see who you need to send these letters to, But actually, this is the end of the credit report. Went over a few accounts with you, so you should be able to, dispute personal information, look through your accounts and find inaccuracies within your account on your credit report. Look at your inquiries, your public information, and the creditor contacts, so you'll know exactly where to send your letters. And if you need any help with finding out these credit letters, just look in the link below in the description. You'll find our top five free dispute letters that you can use, and so you can get that credit score that you're looking for. And if you're also looking for someone that'll actually handle all of your, credit needs, and that you want to actually dispute for you, and to be, that person, the person of contact for your credit, and we're helping you with this process, please look down in the description below, book a call with one of our credit specialists, and we will get you started. This is Lo from Future Wealth Advisors. I want to say thank you for your patience and going through this credit report with me. And what I want to do is, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them on the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them. And like I said, you're looking for sample letters, we have them in the description below. If you want to schedule a call with us to go over your credit report and to get started today, all the information will be in the description below. Until next time, thank you.